But I wanted to read you a little story that I found interesting, and we're going to take your questions too, so let us have it whenever you want. You want to know what it's like sleeping in the same bed as Ty? I'll let you know. It's very fun. You want to know what it's like living with a man that takes your fucking apartment, occupies it like Israel and Palestine, and then fucking, when you ask him the audacity to throw your garbage out, he looks at you like you have 7 heads? I'm happy to answer you. Now, Sam Siegel's joining the party. Look at that. So, this is a very raw and authentic type of thing. So, we got Sam Siegel, our editor, coming up. Hold on. Oh, look, Sam Siegel's joining the party. So, as you saw, I think yesterday and the day before, I did a little, I'd say, monologue on Hillary Clinton's new book, which I thought was crazy and nonsense. Go check it out on the channel. And now, apparently, the Democratic Party is very upset at you Bernie bros and sisters, because you know they added it. Now it's not just Bernie bros, it's sisters. So the headline in The Politico is Bernie backers' attacks on Democrats infuriate the party.
You know what? Hold on. If you guys didn't see Jank's little rant that he did, I think it was yesterday. He killed it. He talked about this bullshit, and you got to watch it. It's on Twitter. I retweeted it. So if you go on Twitter and check out my Twitter at Tommie_Tyhefe, Tyhefe, you'll see the retweet. I think we talking about vintage Jank.
Yeah.
He went in.
And follow him. He's got, what do you have, like 17 followers right now?
Yeah.
So.
You see, he a hater, Sam.
So.
He trying to hate on me to the world.
Now, listen, and press the share button so we can get this out. Prominent Democrats are increasingly riled by the attacks from Bernie Sanders supporters, whose demands for ideological purity are hurting the party ahead of the 2018 midterms and 2020 presidential election, they say. Oh, God. Can this Politico writer write this from Hillary Clinton's womb? Terrible first paragraph. Let me continue. But it's not just the outside agitators. They're borrowing language from Trump. They call it the agitators.
Yeah.
But it's not just the outside agitators that Democratic lawmakers, operatives, and activists are annoyed with. They're tired of what they see as the senator's hesitance to confront his own backers, either in public or through back channels. Tensions boiled over recently when a handful of Sanders loyalists bashed freshman Senator Kamala Harris, a rising star in the party and potential 2020 hopeful, as an establishment tool. Democrats were also rankled that other prominent Sanders allies said that support for single-payer health care should be a litmus test for candidates. In response, Democratic senators and outside groups have begun telling Sanders and friendly intermediaries that if he wants to be a leading figure for Democrats ahead of 2020's presidential election, he needs to get his supporters in line, or at least publicly disavow their more incendiary comments. You see this? How professional he is, answering the phone while we're live? Unreal. Now, first of all,
some student loans. And
the student loan fairies against them. Now, first of all, I'm going to get into this, but if Bernie Sanders wants to be a leading figure for Democrats ahead of 2020's presidential election, I got breaking news for the Democratic Party. You don't have any say whether Bernie Sanders is a leading figure.
Exactly, he is.
He is the leading figure. He's the most popular politician in America. I actually got into it with a Politico writer yesterday who was using like very cherry-picked polls to make it seem like Barack Obama is still more popular than Bernie. He's not. But this whole, to say if we let you be a leading figure, no. The Democratic Party is the one that has to bend over backwards to get Bernie to grace them with his presence. A lot of you don't know this. Here's a little behind the scenes. So you remember when Bernie did that little road trip with DNC chair Tom Perez? Do you think Bernie Sanders requested Tom Perez for the road trip?
No.
Hell no. Bernie Sanders wanted Keith Ellison, the DNC deputy chair, to come on the road with him. And what did the DNC do? They said, Tom Perez or nothing. And the DNC, I believe, helped with the funding of that trip. So there is
I know firsthand Tom Perez ain't shit.
Yeah, he ain't shit.
I followed him during the DNC chair race, and he dodged us until we got to Baltimore, which was 2 months into the race. He would not have an interview with us. You know why? Because he knew Nomiki was going to dig in his ass.
Yeah. So This whole like notion that if Bernie wants to be a leading figure, no. If you want to have a shot at taking back the House, if you want to have a shot at taking back the Senate, if you want to have a shot in 2020, it's not whether you'll let Bernie be a leader of the party. It's whether Bernie will continue to work with you, which I think what we're going to cover this weekend, there is a movement to try and get Bernie to go the other way and start his own party. I'm not going to get into my thoughts on that right now. You'll hear about it this weekend. But the bottom line is this whole entitlement and arrogance that like if Bernie wants us to give him the keys, no. Yeah. You've driven the car drunk for years and drove it into a ditch and it's in flames and you're too arrogant to see that. Mm-hmm. So Bernie Sanders doesn't need to ask your permission. I know a lot of you don't want Bernie to work with the Democratic Party or take over the Democratic Party.
But I kind of feel that he should, just because of registration and everything, like he should stay with the Democratic Party. Because a lot of people are not going to change him and become independent to vote for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think he'll be serving himself discredit if he it's so many people now, even Democrats that like Bernie and that support him now that didn't probably support him during the general election or the primaries, that seeing what the fuck is going on. And so I think that it would be better for him to stay with the party and just kill it within. Like a lot of times you got to kill it within. You get in there and you kill it and then you build up something new.
And what I find so incredible here, tell me what you think. I want to know, ask me questions, comments. When they say purity test, they have their own purity test. They have their own purity test. Yeah. They're saying, fall in line. No, we're not going to push for Medicare for all. That's our purity test, the establishment's saying. We're not going to push for free public college. That's our purity test. They have their own purity test. You know what it is? Fall the fucking line. And to that, I say...
fuck a bag of glass.
Yeah.